Brian, they're making a hockey fan out of you, huh? You're in here for a Golden Knights game. You were up there the other day, the Rangers and Islanders. Did you ever pay attention to so much hockey before?
Yeah, that was my first hockey game ever in New York, and it was pretty dope. They gave me my own jersey and everything. They put number 1, they put T-City on it, so that was fun. And they won that night, so it was perfect.
So now you're back in town for Vegas. Maybe bring a little good luck for the Golden Knights.
Well, I heard they're already on fire, so they don't need it. But I'll just be there for support and watch my second hockey game, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk to you since New York. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Starting out a couple days before we saw you, when we found out that you were willing to step up on short notice and fight Habib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
And it kind of came out of left field, but then as soon as I think fans and us started thinking about it, it was like, that would have been a pretty good fight. So talk to me about why you were willing to take a risk like that when you've been kind of working towards the goal that you're at, and then you were willing to step out and take that.
Well, the thing is, for some reason, the short notice fights seem to bring out the best of me. And when I look at Khabib, I just look at the style. And I go, man, this guy's a top wrestler, and I'm a bottom jiu-jitsu guy. And when I really thought about it, I took the fight no matter what. But when I actually, when you make a decision, you don't fully think through it.
Yes.
When I started finally thinking through it, I was like, I got excited. I was like, because not too many people present a good ground game from the bottom. They either survive a little bit, and it's kind of boring, but not too many people are attacking from the bottom, hurting with elbows, or they just don't bring that kind of game because it takes a long time to develop. Versus me, I grew up in that situation where I was always the bottom guy, always getting beat up by all these guys, so I had to learn how to adapt my game to that. And then when you look at him, he's been a wrestler his whole life. So it's like, I've been a bottom guy my whole life, you've been a wrestler your whole life, you're undefeated, I'm undefeated. I'm not a small featherweight, so let's do it. I was curious to see what was going to happen.
Well, I wonder, like you said, because it wasn't a fight I don't think anybody ever thought of. And then once we thought about it, like you, I think we all got excited too. So I wonder, is that now something that's like, definitely on your radar?
It's on my radar. I have a big fight right now, but that one for sure it's on the radar. I have to be successful July 7th, then I can hopefully make that happen after.
I want to ask you about everything else that kind of happened in New York. I mean, you got kind of a front row seat for everything that unfolded. Here you are, this breath of fresh air, bringing this message of positivity and hope and love and all this good stuff, right? And then you get a front row seat for everything that unfolds with the opposite of that, chaos and madness and everything. What was going through your mind as you saw this kind of all play out in New York?
I was watching it at the same time you guys were watching it. I got on my phone and I was like, Connor did what? I was like, wait a minute. And then you're like trying to find different little videos, right? Because there's only so many clips, and you're trying to find out the whole story. And then I started talking to people. I'm like, yo, what happened? And they started telling me what went down and this and that. And I was like, I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. Yeah, wasn't my problem. It sucks that some fighters didn't get to fight because of it. But yeah, I don't really want to word it out because I don't want to, stir the pot up.
Well, I don't want to stir the pot, but I mean, is it tough because it feels like everybody's trying to find a direction in the sport, right? I mean, Connor is unquestionably the biggest star in the sport, but I think everybody steps back and goes, that was ridiculous, And then we got people like you, Rose Namajunas gets a lot of credit for her positivity as well. I just wonder, do you feel like you can be that big of a superstar, that successful, and can keep this positive mindset and keep this positive attitude, or do you see when somebody's kind of playing the villain role and they're the star, do you think, maybe I'm making the wrong decisions?
No, there's only one Connor. Everyone who's tried to be like Connor, you can tell they're just fronting, You can see by the way they go in there, you're like, come on, shut up. But for me, I'm just me. That's what I realize the best thing could be is when I talk to people, they're like, especially getting in the sport, they were like, oh, you got to be a character, you got to be this. And my coach told me, I don't know if I can cuss or not, but he goes, fuck that. He's like, just be you, bro. He goes, you don't have to lie on the thing, you don't have to pretend, you don't have to remember about something you made up before. He goes, just be you, and you can't go wrong with being you. So that's what we did, and I'm happy I stuck to it, man, because I'm just me. If I ever get pissed off, I'm legitly pissed off. So far, it hasn't happened.
Very nice. Now you got this fight with Max Holloway. I think people are pretty excited about it. I don't imagine there'll be a lot of trash talk. Any of that it doesn't seem necessary. But I mean, two young guys in the sport, two of the best in the game. I mean, how excited are you about this matchup?
I'm ready. It's how can I say it, man? This is something that for the longest time was just a vision, you know, and then now it's actually a plan. We're actually starting training camp for it, and it's still surreal. It's like, holy shit, I got the shot. It's like, all right. And then I was nervous because it was like, man, am I going to be able to fight Frankie on 3 weeks' notice to get this shot, to steal it away? And I'm happy that the outcome was what it was. And now we get to fight. So it's how many fighters could say that they got to the chance there, you know, especially coming up from where I came from. Something bad could happen after this fight and never fight again, and I can just say, you know what? I can tell people at least, hey, I went all the way undefeated to the belt, so I'm already winning. You know, the belt is just something extra.
How concerned were you with Max possibly taking that fight and not being able to maybe fight in July if something happened?
I wasn't concerned because I was just like, he's gonna have to fight me no matter what. Now it's just a matter of how much off time do I have. And if he did become champion, then you're like, I still got a guaranteed title fight. Now it's just a matter of who is it going to be against. So I wasn't too concerned about it. I was a little upset that, because I was like, his foot's hurt. He's not going to take it. And then he took it, and I was like, oh, man. I was like, but I can't hate on it, you know? Like, me and you were willing to do the same thing that where a lot of other fighters were not. So I took my hat to him on that, because for anyone to step up, when you hear Khabib, you're like, I need a training camp. And then they gave us 6 days. And we weren't even training. So it was like, he was down, I was down. Because he's champ, Dana White did tell me he has priority, obviously. And he was just waiting to hear his call back. And he took it. And, you know, the commission pulled him off from, I guess he was declared unfit to fight. And I was in New York waiting for that situation. And I was not eating on purpose, you know. I was putting things, I was eating pizza, but I wasn't. And then, but Thursday night came, and I was like, I'm not getting it. I was like, this guy's making weight tonight. So then I went to Junior's, and I had some some cheesecake, and I kind of like ate my frustrations away. And then the morning they called, I was like, he didn't make weight. And I was like, no. I was like, oh well.
If you hadn't eaten, would you have taken it on a day?
Well, they didn't call me, but I was gonna reach out, but then they realized you have like an hour and a half to make weight, and for me it was like, cut 15 pounds in an hour and a half I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, it just wasn't gonna happen, especially after that cheesesteak or that cheesecake.
How was the cheesecake?
It was good. I had the strawberry one, I had the regular one, I had the blueberry one. I heard it's the best in New York, so I was like, I can't just have one. I gotta try all the flavors.
Which one was the best one of the three?
To me, I love the strawberry one. Yeah, the strawberry one just was different. I always loved strawberry cheesecake growing up, and when I tried it over there, I was like, damn, now I miss it.
Does that say something about how great this fight is, though? I mean, in this era of it seems like everybody's positioning themselves and trying to figure out which is the right financial fight, which is the right, you know, you two guys were both willing to say, I don't care, I'll take on the guy the boogeyman that everybody's afraid of.
Yeah.
You think that says something for how big this fight is going to be, that you two guys are guys like that?
Boy, I always say it this way. You have two guys that are down to fight. He's not a point scorer, I'm not a point scorer. We want to get in there, and at the end of the day, we want to finish each other, which means we got to hurt each other. And for me, that makes the best kind of fights. When you got two guys who really are going for it. This guy's a champ, and he still goes for it. That says something a lot, because you see a lot of guys, they earn their way to the championship, and then they play it safe to keep it. He's going all in. I'm all in. I've always been all in. If I ever become champ, I'm still going to be all in. So I just think that makes a great chemistry for crazy fights. And that's hopefully what we can give the fans July 7th.
How would you describe what your win over Frankie meant Like, I mean, we know what it did. It gave you a title shot, but like, what did it mean to you?
For me, it meant I made history. I'm in this game to try to make history. I made history when becoming the first fighter to ever have 4 third round consecutive finishes. And I was like, okay, I'll take that record. It was a weird record, but I'll take it. And then we had the Cub fight, and then I was like, okay, now I got to prove to these guys I'm not just a third round luck charm. And I got that fight out the way, and the Frankie fight was like almost like similar to Khabib. The Khabib thing was because you have 3 weeks to train, and there's this huge pressure on you're a finisher, and this guy's never been finished. So my whole thing was like, I want to be the guy who finishes him, and it's just crazier that it's on 3 weeks' notice that I didn't get a full camp. And for me, it was just it proved what I'm capable of. It proved to me that sometimes training camps are just hypes. You know, if you're down and you fight well, you'll go in there and you do what you got to do. And that's what it proved to me, that I can go in there on short weeks' notice, fight the guy that was going to fight for the belt, the guy who's never been finished, and be able to become successful on that. And for me, that it played out perfect because he wasn't hurt, I wasn't hurt. He just had his fight with Cub. He did well. I'm happy that he stepped in again at a fast comeback, and he's doing good because I was kind of rooting for him.
I was going to say, did it make you feel good a little bit the other day? Because, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, why is he rushing back in there? And I guess, if you lost that, then maybe they could go back to your fight and say, well, Frank Yeager's not what he used to be.
Yeah.
So was there a part of you that was like, nope, see, I told you, he's still the guy?
Well, I fought both guys, and to me, I like Frankie better. It's just, I studied both of them as a human being. I got to talk to them, both of them. Cub still kind of, I don't know, you don't kind of like me too much. But Frankie was cool, man. And so obviously I'm rooting for the guy who's cool. And he treated me nice, and I'm glad he won.
What doesn't Cub like you?
I don't know.
Was it just something he said to you, or?
No, I just keep seeing people tag me in things, and then he's like, yeah, Brian's not going to, I guess he blamed him getting sick or something for the fight in Fresno, and then he said I wasn't going to be able to beat Frankie. And one thing is if you're bitter, you're bitter, and I get it, man, but I don't want to go up to, I'm not going to come to media and then purposely start talking trash. So, whatever, man, I still got nothing against the guy. If he wants to shake my hand and we can talk and be cool, that's something I'd actually like. I don't like having enemies in the sport. So yeah, man.
So now you do get a long training camp for this fight.
Yeah.
You get some time to study Max. What do you think? Just initial thoughts. What do you think are some of his strengths and maybe some of his weaknesses?
Well, his strength is his striking and his wrestling defense, and his weakness is the ground. He's got good jiu-jitsu, but I feel like I have something different when it comes to the ground. And we just have to make a training camp based on all his strength and his weaknesses, and how we're gonna make it happen during the fight, because we have 25 minutes in there. So we got some time. It's not like we got 3 rounds. We got 25 minutes of fighting, and just got to seize the right opportunity.
Brian, based on what you just said, you think his weakness is the ground. What did you think was going to happen if he did make it to the Khabib fight?
That was my concern. Is his wrestling defense good enough? Because if he could stop Khabib's takedowns, I feel he would have got the better of Khabib on the stand-up. He's a big boy too. So it's not like, oh, everyone looks at featherweight. No, if you would have seen them in the cage, you would go, damn, he's a featherweight. It would have just made you question it, because he's a big boy. But the real question is with anyone who fights Khabib. If he gets you on the ground, what are you going to do? And so far, he's been able to get everyone on the ground and just destroy them.
For that reason, were you a little worried that hey, I mean, this could go bad for Max, and when it goes bad against Khabib, it looks really bad, and so that would take away from some of the maybe some of the interest in our title fight, because this guy's been unbeatable, and then if Khabib's in, then will people still be tuned into the fight?
I thought about it, but then I was gonna say, you could always come back and say he took it on 6 days' notice, so it wouldn't be that bad. I feel people would, even if he lost, people would have credited him like, yo, you're down to stepping on 6 days' notice to fight a guy who's heavier than you in a different weight class. So I feel like he would have got more credit than discredit. and it still would have been a good build up for the fight, you know, because he's just down.
You've been so effective on short notice fights. What's the feeling like right now, knowing you've got what might seem like forever laying out in front of you before this fight? I mean, you have to approach things differently. What's the plan? Are you concerned with overtraining or anything?
Honestly, my life has been crazy this last year. This is gonna be my 4th fight in less than 1 year, which means I haven't had a life in a year. I've just been training camp. I took 1 vacation, and then during that vacation, I got called to take the fight against Cubs, so I had to come back. So I'm just used to it. That's why, and I feel it's good because by the time I stepped in with Frankie, when I stepped in the arena, I was calm, man. I had my headphones, I was singing, I was dancing. It didn't feel like before where I was fighting once or twice a year where it's like the jitters feel new again. It was like, hey, Brian, welcome back to the office. I've been seeing the staff so much lately. It's like, yo, what's up, guys? Good to see you again. Tonight I'm fighting, and then maybe 2 weeks from now I'm going to see you at the fight. It's just, for pleasure. But I've gotten used to the atmosphere, which I feel is good, because once I get used to the atmosphere, I'm comfortable, and the more comfortable I become, the more relaxed I get in there. And when I'm relaxed and I'm in there, you see these different sides of me that only happen when I'm in training camp. That people are like, how come you don't bring that out to the fight? It's because I'm relaxed in training camp, and I'm not that relaxed when you're in there. It's hard to be relaxed when there's got lights, camera, action, a guy trying to punch you in the face for real, as hard as he can, and the arena filled up screaming. It's not the easiest thing to relax in, but lately I've been relaxing in it, and it's kind of weird.
How about just personally? I mean, you strike me as a guy that would rather be just sitting outside in SoCal, playing some dominoes with your boys or whatever. Instead, you're having to travel around and do all these media responsibilities. I mean, but if you get that title, obviously this is a taste of the champ life. I mean, Personally, do you find it distracting, fulfilling? Are you enjoying it? What do you think?
It's a love-hate, because obviously the waves have been good lately, and you want to go surf and all these things, and I want to travel, go to other places like Bali and things, because I just want to surf good waves. And New York was cold water, no waves, but it's good, man. It's a love-hate thing. I get to bring my team with me. I don't just share these things alone. They come with me and they fly out, and we just cruise the city together. And I saw a lot of things in New York that I didn't see when I went to my first time in New York. And it feels good to have your friends with you. That ultimately, that's what it is. And now they're coming with me everywhere I go, and they're, as much as I'm tripping out on it, they're having the same experience, and it's good to not go through things alone. So I've been liking it. And then we come back, and it's like, hey, like, it's crazy. We're in New York. It's like we're all together in New York. Us three, we're here right now. We're in New York. Look at that. And like that's like the Manhattan Bridge, that's Brooklyn Bridge. You're like, we rode in it, we walked in it. You're like, just tripping out, and it felt good to see that with the team, from the hood, to living it differently. I like it.
What's that like? You say coming from the hood. Do you have, as you get bigger, do you have to be a little cognizant of who's reaching out to you and what their motives might be? Have you heard from some people that you haven't heard from for a while, just because you're doing really well for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to, but yeah. There's different things some different kind of politics that come with it. But yeah.
What's that like?
I'd rather not talk about it. Yeah.
When you get the belt, are you going to be as active as you've been? Because, like you said, you've been busy. And I think that serves to your advantage. Maybe even when you fought Frankie, I mean, he was not that active. And it might have been detrimental to him.
No, I feel I have a couple goals that I still have left, and I'm willing to keep working and pay the price for it. And if I become successful July 7th, I have plans to keep fighting till summer of 2019. I want to set some things up, some couple fights that I think they would challenge me, and that would be great for my career. And yeah, I'm not gonna stop till hopefully I get these things.
You willing to share those goals right now?
Not yet. I'd rather just let you guys see it as it unfolds, if it unfolds, you know? Because you can always paint the perfect picture, and then it doesn't happen, and it just sets you back a little bit. So for me, I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to curse it. I have the vision, I'm training hard, and now I just got to make it happen, which is the hardest part.
I was going to say, when you say till summer 2019, though, are you saying and then that would be it, or that's just where the goals stop right now?
Well, that's as far as the vision gets right now. That's as far as it gets. Because I don't see it getting any bigger than that by 2019. So we'll see what happens, yeah.
You beat a lot of the top featherweights on your way up to the title. If you beat Max, how long would you like to stay and defend the title, or that Khabib fight? Would you like to make that super fight as soon
Well,
as
that's part of the
possible?
plans that I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some super fights that'll be dope, you know, that I just, as a fan, I want to see me in there, you know. I want to geek out about it. And the best part is I get to be in there and do it. So that's a good thing, you know.
Let me ask you, as a fan, on your card, Derek Lewis and Ngannou going to fight. As a fan, that's a great fight.
I know
What do you
it
think
is.
about that fight?
It's a crazy fight. I'm glad to be sharing that night with them, you know, especially because they're going to fight before me, so I get to watch it while I'm warming up and get all hyped up about it. I don't know, man. I'm not going to say who wins, but I'm excited for it.
This is Lockfest, huh?
Yeah. It's two big boys.
Any thoughts on the main event? Cormier Stipe? Another tough one?
It's another tough one, man, because I like both guys. I like Stipe because Stipe is a fireman, and it's just, I look up to him in that part. To be able to go through school and become a fireman and hold a title, that's unheard of. And then for Daniel Cormier to step up in weight class when he's already dominating his, that's another, you got to tilt your hat to these guys, you know? So it's hard to talk bad about both of them and kind of even go with one fighter. And I like both, man. It's a fight where you're like,
Hey Brian, a couple
Why
weeks
they gotta
ago, Justin Gaethje fought, and he was coming off the first loss of his career, and one thing that he was talking about was he actually said, if I would give young kids advice to get their first loss out of the way, just get it out of the way, so that way you don't have to talk about it, and it doesn't hang over your head that you got an undefeated record.
Yeah.
As a guy who's undefeated, do you have any idea what he's talking about?
I do. Sometimes I felt like the pressure would be gone if I just got it out the way. If I lost and the fans talked whatever they had to talk, made the crazy memes, you know, and it just, I went through that phase and now I know what it's like, you know. But at the same time, I lost so many other things in my life where that's why I feel like I don't care about a loss. And that's why I feel like I keep winning, is because I don't care about it. You see me down 2 rounds, I just keep fighting because I love it and I want to finish you, I'm in your face. I lost a lot of friends, I lost a lot of things in life that to me are far much worse than a little record. Just says, and won, you know? It just means you lost a fight, but life in general, you know, I lost so much other things that I don't really care for it.
What's the update on the foundation right now, man? You making some Hollywood ties, getting some attention?
Robert Downey Jr. just got on board with me, he's helping me out. A lot of other people are getting on board and helping me out. But what I didn't realize is, for you to have a foundation, it's a lot of work. And with like having all these crazy title fights and everything, or just the success that I've had with the career so far, and trying to do this, it's a lot of work. But I'm still managing both. I put a lot of my own money to start the foundation, and now all I'm waiting is for the state to clear the 501c3. That's why I haven't really been doing so many things, because everyone's like, oh yeah, you're just taking selfies now and just thinking you're Hollywood's. Like, no, man, these guys are inviting me to these things. Obviously, I'm showing you guys my experience, but I can't do nothing yet because the state has to clear it in order for you to do anything. You can't do nothing unless the state clears it. So we're trying to rush that as fast as we can, and hopefully by the end of this, either July or August, it clears, from what I've been told. And once it clears, the ship's full, you know, it's taking off. So I can't wait to show everyone the plans on that. But I do have a cool little project that I'm working on when I get home. It's gonna be fun, yeah. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go to school and call this kid out, and kind of help him get his life together.